They're all Arabia. Okay. Incas versus Malians. I would prefer Incas, but I can see why Malians would be favored because of the champions. Opening with 3 onward, 4 onward. Okay, later 4 onward. Scouts the barracks. Yeah. He's gonna go for his own barracks. 3 militia. I actually really like this, what like Chris is doing. This is kind of the counter to the modern meta of 2 militia rush. Yeah. And Miguel is going for a defensive 2 militia rush. This is random stuff. I'm not even sure what is going on over here. Miguel went for a blind counter to the drush that never came from Chris, and Chris is going for a counter drush to Miguel by making 3 militia. So the opening is already weird from both of the players. Nice quick wall, almost immediate, like he spots the immediately where Chris is going to come from. Chris is adding more militia. He wants to turn them into Manatowns. 23 population up. Pretty normal. Both are up with 23. 3 militia by Miguel. Miguel added 1 more of his own. The scout being the deciding factor in this fight. Scout has more DPS than the eagle in those fights. Chris did invest into Manatowns. Miguel did not. And the Manatom's not really getting any villager kills, so I would say Miguel is still in a better position because he invested like 100, almost 140 plus 1 less militia, so he's like quite a bit ahead in food already. In terms of the bank, if we check the bank, 70 food bank versus 70 food bank, but probably because he has upgrades on his unit compared to Chris, who does not even have a blacksmith yet. Yeah, so like he has invested into fletching. That's pretty much it. He's going for a market. So this is where the market stuff comes in. Market abuser meta. Sells the stone, tries to click up. Yeah, this is just like fairly meta at the moment. You just send everything to stone and gold. I mean, not stone and gold, but gold and word. There's the archers, trying to pick off the farm villages, not really gonna find anything. Adding a second range, adding a stable. Okay, stable makes sense if he does not know what his opponent is going. But that's basically because like of a poor scouting pattern. And he's going to lose archers for it. Chris is punishing by pushing this army away. Crossbow, bodkin, immediate ballistics as well by Miguel. Malian faster working university always helps. Chris going back. 1 TC from Miguel only. 2 town centers from Chris already. I would say like Miguel is in a fine position because of ballistics. He's getting so much good value out of his units. Also maintaining map control. Already a population lead, and now he can catch up with his economy. He has map control. I don't mind like getting behind in economy just a little bit if you can get the map control, and he picks off the villages, adding a town center outside. Chris was being greedy. He wanted to make a TC outside, and Miguel is punishing him for it, hitting both the wood lines. Chris gave up the map control, so even with 3 TC, he's actually not that far behind. If we check economy, Chris is slightly ahead, but Miguel will easily catch up because of the army. It's mostly KD. Miguel has like such a better KD compared to Chris in this scenario. Chris going heavy on archers. He's going 4 range archers. Okay. Chris wants to make sure he gets the map control back. He's ramping up the production so that he just like gets the product map control. Miguel adding siege instead of his own. Going for mangonels. And he's gonna be able to pick off this area, this army at least. Unless he doesn't micro. Chris doing pretty decent micro, lands a mangonel shot in the face. Miguel loses his army over here. Population looking 10 in favor of Chris. Chris doing a really good job at defending against this. So much more production from Chris. Miguel idling so much. He stopped crossbow production and he's switching into full knights. Knights and mangonels. Floating a lot of wood. Not being able to make enough farms in time, I would say. This much amount of wood float is pretty bad. But it's being compensated by the amount of micro he's doing with his knights and mangonels. So I can understand. I've been in a lot of positions where I've over micro my units and then have really bad macro behind it because of it. So you have to get like into a mindset where you prioritize one thing over the other. Like which one do you want to prioritize? Do you want to get like a more macro oriented economy and like position wise, or do you want to micro and finish off and get like a pretty good lead because of it? Miguel dropping a castle with one villager, getting immediately spotted and killed because of it. These crossbows are out here, should die eventually. Miguel not really protecting a siege. Villagers might actually get it. Might get it. Two more hits. One more. Just one more hit was needed to take down that mangonel. Okay, these crossbows should die. Miguel, spend your wood. That's 2,000 wood in the bank. Either sell it to click up or make farms. Lots of Kamayuks. This is a big problem for Miguel now. I think he's just lost the game. Chris should not win. I mean, Miguel should not win from this position. Chris should murder him now. Like, Kamayuks have no counter in this matchup. But Chris needs to click up. He's going champions. Champions don't do well against Kamayuks. Kamayuks can actually kill the champions. Like, you can mix in a couple of slingers and play Kamayuks. Miguel has to go like champion hand cannons if he wants to push this back. He's Imperial faster, he's killing the castle. Miguel, Chris should repair this. He should not give up this position. Just go back, defend, make a lot of Kamayuk, get elite if he can afford it. I want to check the economy. He's getting armor. Okay, this is kind of a mistake. I can see the appeal of getting the armor, but like if you do the math on it, elite Kamayuk is so much more worth it. He's making slingers instead of elite Kamayuk. Ay. Might give chance for Miguel to make a comeback because of it. Because if he clicked elite Kamayuk, all these champions will melt. They are so much more stronger than regular Kamayuk. Elite Kamayuk have 8 attack, base attack and 80 HP compared to 70 and like basically 1 attack more and 10 more HP, but like it just pays off way too quickly because of the stack mechanic. Like you need attack and stuff, not armor for Kamayuk. Versus 13 attack from champions. Yeah, champions get murdered if you like look at these fights. He needs hand cannon to win. But they are not elite Kamayuk yet, so the champions are actually still trading okay. And Miguel is kind of winning this fight because of no elite. Chris throwing his army away. Not enough gold income. Just burned through the gold. Was not able to get back the control of this gold in the middle of the map. He's taking Miguel's gold. These are both Miguel's gold. How is Miguel able to... I guess because he's went out to the neutral golds over here. I was wondering why like Miguel is able to sustain this much production. Good movements by champions who's winning Miguel this game. He's off it now. Miguel is pushing him away. This is what I was saying. Slingers and Kamayuk is such a strong composition. I don't know what like Miguel can make to win this game. Like just champion movement is winning him, and not Chris not having elite. If Chris invested a little bit of his time into elite, he would be surprised by how much value he can get out of elite. Kamayuk. He's throwing away a lot of his units. And Miguel is 129 villages, 22 army. Chris is looking closer to 200 population. Chris distributing his army. Chris is not good. Like, Incas can't kill Malians if they have to fight in 10 different positions. But Inca can win every single fight if all the army is forced into one position. So Miguel is doing a good job by splitting his making Chris split his army. And Chris kinda getting split because of it. And not having enough gold, he is forced to switch into pikemen. I think Miguel might have done it. But my biggest complaint has still remained. If Elite Kamayu put on the field, I am not even sure what Miguel can make. Anything, like nothing trades good against that unit as Malians. Like you can make hand cannons, but then Chris will make skirmishers. And then you're fucked. Because you'd never get value out of the units you're making. You can make like hand cannons, Gibetto, what do I say? Light cav. Like you'll just get pushed before it or any of that pays off. Incas is such a good counter unit, sir. Yeah, this Chris lost this game. He should not have lost it, but he lost this game because like Miguel was so good at splitting his army and making Chris be reacting in 10 different positions. Gibettos should fare well, yes, but then the slingers and the arbalists will start coming into the play. Against Kamayuk, yes, but no, like the timing of it is never in the play. I'm talking about the timing of like the units. If he did get elite, only mass SO would be able to... Yeah, of course. Hey, come on, this is Arabia, not Arena. This is Arabia we're talking about. When was the last time you saw SO on Arabia? In a 1v1 high level game? You rarely see that shit. Chris playing Franks against Sicilians of Miguel. I don't mind this matchup for Sicilians, but it's like pretty hard for Sicilians to keep up with Franks in the late game with like Cavalier, and you'll never see a Somalian. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. On Arena, it's different. I would probably favor Malians in Arena over Incas, but maybe not because monks are really good with Incas as well. So it's like meh. That's like a 45-55 matchup. I would put my money on like 55% Inca winning, 45 Malian winning on Arena. $20 pop-up, looks like scout. Surprised he went for this wood line. This is I don't think he was paying attention to the oasis. This is not there is no way like he purposefully made the lumber camp there. He should have like 10 out of 10 times either gone to this wood line or this wood line. This is the worst possible wood line he can take, and he went for it. That's funny. I'm pretty sure he was not paying attention to that oasis. There's no way he made a conscious decision of making the lumber camp there. Maybe it's just autopilot mode. Nowadays, not seeing heavy feudal aggression in KOTD or most Arabia games. Like Bloodline Scouts aggression is hardly seen. Any special reasoning? People's play style have been adopted into playing more safety / defensive play style gets rewarded more, and taking risks and not paying off is like a lot more punishing in the current meta. But you should watch my games. I play very aggressive. I don't give a fuck. Enough self-promotion. Let's watch the game. Really good pick off by Chris. Immediately picks off the walling villager. This is really good micro. Incas might not have the raw power of Aztecs or Mayans, but in return, their hard counter army composition. by far more expensive to get going. Yeah. Scouts opening, gets a villager almost immediately. Might get a second villager if he's like really annoying. No, he's not doing that. Adding a second stable. Holy fuck, this is annoying. Miguel must be pretty annoyed at this point. Should be going back now. I'm curious to see what yeah, Miguel is going for scouts of his own. Not that surprised, but like sure. Scouts is a pretty fair opening in the Sicilian meta. You get the farm upgrade for extra 100 food and stuff. But Frank Scouts should be able to push this back. Let's see. Chris playing 10 on word. Making a spearman. 8 on berries. Holy fuck. Let's forget about that macro. Chris being fairly confident in his micro with the extra HP of Frank. Use Sail Stone to click up if you get behind, or you want to be really greedy and go up to the next stage. That's only if both the players are participating in that thing. If the game is passive enough, you have to sell stone to get an advantage. It's just like a fact of the game at the moment. As sad as that is. Scouts, spearmen in the mid game. Adding a second stable to maintain map control. Pushing off the spearmen and the scouts. Not being fully walled. Yeah, good fight. Let's see where he would add TCs. Not the best macro. Should have had enough wood to buy, like make 2 TCs almost immediately. He does make it. He probably buys the 100 wood because he did not have it at the moment. Miguel playing double stable monastery as well. No monastery for Chris just yet, but he has more numbers. He has like what, 6-7 more knights already. Miguel keeps losing his spearmen and stuff. Pretty passive like knights play sort of game. Chris wants to attack. Miguel's still kind of defending, both continuing with knights. If Miguel not producing out of his unit, why is Miguel idling so much? What is happening here? Like, he was just idle for 1 minute for no reason. He's behind by 6 villagers. Economy wise, more food for Chris makes sense. More wood for Miguel, more gold for Chris. Better macro, I would say, but like this is pretty good. More monks for Miguel. Army wise, 23 versus 25. I've won 1 full triple stable knights as Franks against Tatas before and completely wrecked my opponent. No way I was taking that matchup to Imperial CA or Death of Franks. Technically you can play as like you can apply pressure in mid castlage and maintain map control, drop castles, play with like trebs and paladins to win the game before it gets to that point. But I can see why like it will be very difficult to play in mid game against the cavalry archer mass play. You just have more economy than the cavalry archer player at that point of the game. You have to realize that and make sure you don't take too much damage or force fights which are not favorable for you. Chris is raiding him to death. Good defense. Drops a defensive castle and raiding in the back. Chris doing like the 1-2 movement. Like punches in the front. And then like just smashing him in the back as well at the same time. Picks off the monks with the fighting cav archers, makes my blood precious fight. I love cavalry archers. I love Mike. Both of them are having issues by spending their word. Not something I would have expected like this, but I granted both of them are microing quite heavily. Chris is ahead by 10, almost 13 villages. He should not lose from this point. He should just win. Spending the word by adding more production buildings and adding farms and adding TCs. This fight is horrible for Miguel. Not sure why he was fighting. Healing up the knights. He's ahead in economy. Now just needs to stay defensive. And Miguel has to make like pike switch. Really surprised no pike switch still yet from either of the players. Is like just weird to me. Moves out, gets the monks picked up. Miguel kinda has more army. Equalish. What is Chris doing? Why is he like just abandoning his TC? There is no reason to do what he's doing, but he's going for a raid instead. Does he have fletching? No fletching. This is such a weird move. Why would you go? I mean, you're ahead. Okay, like I can understand why he's doing what he's doing, but there's no reason for him to play like this. It's just safer to stay defensive because you did the damage with the knights in the mid game. You're already ahead. Why take the risks of like base trading? Because when you base trade like this, you're not guaranteed to do more damage than your opponent. If like Miguel is better walled, has better protection of his town centers with like maybe a castle, Chris dies in that position because then he takes more eco damage. I get the point of having castles, but like this whole area, these two TCs, these like what 16-ish farms would like not have been out of his reach. The castles over here could have been like forward or somewhere here in the mid game. I mean in the middle of the map. Weird movement by knights, man. Yes, he's ahead. Yes, Miguel is fucked by 30 villages. He's like so much more further behind. But there's like a few seconds of passive time right now for Chris before he can actually turn that into an advantage. Because the army lead is still kinda in Miguel's favor. And now he's just getting raided to death. So he wins in this position, but he could have won like with a safe play almost 10 minutes earlier. Where Miguel would not be able to do damage and he just loses the game instead of like base trading. I agree and understand the position, but like that's just the next step. Instead of going for the more safer route, he went for the more risky route. Which I guess in his defense it's more entertaining to watch. Next up, Huns versus Burgundians. Pretty good matchup for Huns, I would say, but like becomes really tough later stages of the game. And then the post-Imperial Huns should win in this matchup, but like it's really good early game, really good mid game, really bad early Imperial, mid Imperial, but really good then post-Imperial for Huns. So those are the positions where I would say Huns would struggle against Burgundians in this matchup. Chris going for 23 population up with barracks. Let's see what opening he wants to go for. Miguel is probably going for scouts. Chris is also going for scouts. But with walls. Switches to archers pretty quickly. Wants to go for the crossbow switch. Miguel playing fairly open, made like resource walls. Miguel is switching into archers as well, but like Chris switch to archers much quicker. Miguel is up. Miguel went for the greedy. He needs to have a tower. He can't fight this army. He either needs skirmishers, he needed walls, or now he needs a tower on the gold. These are like 4 archers with like 4 spearmen and a couple of scouts. He needs to have a tower. Okay, he has a tower. This is like really good play from Miguel. Armor from Chris. Okay. I think Chris is just dead. Like he needs to tower his gold. He needs to reinforce the wood lines. Like double palisade over here, house walls. Yeah, there's the house wall. He should understand Miguel is up. This should be walled. Yeah, this is walled. Chris miscalculated. Miguel just went for a greedy, faster faster castle age. Miguel needs to wall this though. He can't let him in. He can wall like this maybe. Should have walled. Should have walled. Like you can wall this and make like another choke point to the town center. Because this is not enough time. You're not getting crossbows just yet. This actually gives Chris value for the units he's made. If he just bought like a little bit more time, Chris never goes in. Even these like units are not that pesky. Now crossbow Bodkin comes in and then he switches to 3-range cavalry archers, which is very, very hard for Chris to deal with. Yeah, there's the tower. And Chris would be looking to click him Castle Age anytime soon. He should cancel the villages and the archers. I would cancel the villages and the archers to click up. Any time spent in Feudal Age is just dangerous for you. If you're playing as the opponent of Hans. Okay. So, hold this maybe. Crossbows over here. Not sure why Chris went back with everything. Good house walls. Yeah, this is the big problem. He doesn't have wood income anymore. Miguel should sit here. Shit here. Crossbows picking off the crossbows from Miguel. Insta ballistics. One stable knight. And then this becomes the cavalry archer dance that everyone is like very like pretty much the nightmare of every player. The Hans with cavalry archers and mangonels will just murder you. Yeah. So much mobility. The crossbows can never chase. Cavalry archers can run away if Miguel does not forget about them. But he's just murdering the entire gold mine. 13 villager lead for Miguel. Just from these like couple raids in last few minutes. Fights under the tower, not sure what I think about it. Has +2 armor, kills most of the crossbows. Okay, it actually is worth it for him to pick those off. So Chris is forced into doing damage. The second TC from Miguel, this is over. This game is over. Miguel has won the game. Chris can't win unless Miguel throws. Yeah, just runs away from any fight he does not want to take. Is going for a defensive mangonel as well, so Chris will basically get 0 damage. Chris wants to catch up in economy, but like this, he's behind in military. He's behind in military value and quality and economy. So this is just over. He's just gonna be elongating the game. And Miguel has to not throw. He's won the game, but he does not have to like throw from this position. Like that mangonel, he just gave it to him. 3 TC for Chris. Crossbow production constantly. 20 village lead for Miguel, which will just keep growing. Is he still on 2 TC or did he add 3rd TC? He added the 3rd TC. Needs to secure the wood lines though. Like, has no wood. He's ran out of wood. Cavalry archers murdering the crossbows under the tower because Miguel doesn't care anymore. 100 versus 60 population. 69. Nice. I'm like struggling to see why like Miguel is just not either switching into full knights or just adding more mangonels. He wants to click Imperial with 4 TC or something, which is not needed. You can just kill him because of the score difference and map control and a lot of other things that like we can already see. Chris going for crazy production from 4 ranges again. Look at like that production queue on the top. This is the This castle should be on his face, man. You have so much more military. Why is he playing so scared? I don't like this from Miguel. He's won the game, but he is like not finishing it. Why play conservative when like you have every opportunity to play aggressive and finish the game? That's how like you kind of give Chris chances, where like he is able to do maneuvers like these. Miguel is in. Chris should resign. But Chris is a trooper. He's gonna try. He's 100 villages, lots of healthy population. Sees that Miguel is switched to +4 knights. Knows nothing counters that. Resigns immediately. Should have resigned immediately once he reached, but they just wanted to see what's happening. Berbers versus Vietnamese. I think I personally favor Vietnamese in this position as well. We just saw this matchup in Winchester versus Sito and Gold Rush. But on Arabia as well, I would say I prefer Vietnamese. Vietnamese being underrated for their economy, actually. Vietnamese have like sick economy, if you can pull it off. Going for the barracks. Going for maybe... Yeah, he's going for 3 militia. He's not going for 2 militia bullshit. Which he might try to do. Yeah, it's actually pretty popular. Yeah, now the 3 militias actually do 0 damage. The 2 militia only get like the same amount of damage as 3 militia. This is why like the meta is shifted to 2 militia. Because you just make enough palisade and like then it's worth it. Straight archers from Miguel. Versus Vietnam, who is going double range follow up after the rush. I'm not sure I agree with it, but Miguel has to have market abuse to make sure like he actually gets any advantage. And Chris has to make market abuse to click up and make sure like he's not competitive with the uptime. Like, such a boring way of like opening. He has to go for a tower or skirmishes like that. Okay, that works as well. But Vietnamese bonus of having extra HP backfiring and hurting him in the butt. Miguel is up. Miguel, did he sell the market? Yeah, he sold the stone to click up. That's like, when I was saying there's a few people who use market quite a bit, Miguel is in one of those categories. It's like just like a repeating pattern where he just markets for everything. Adding 4 ranges, he's going cavalry archers, which is probably really smart. He opens crossbow, switches to crossbow, cavalry archers against the Berber production. Cavalry archers with Vietnamese bonus is so strong. He should wall it off in the front. This is one complaint I have with a lot of people against knights. Why the fuck do you keep your front open? Just wall it off, make a gate, make palisades. This is so risky, and he actually might just run in like and keep harassing your villagers if he's like annoying enough. Why give any chances is my question to your opponent. When you are walled like this, why not complete the wall? Like, people are in a habit of diving town centers right now. So any opportunity to deny them of doing that would be very beneficial to you. Chris sticking with crossbow, not switching into cavalry archers. Maybe I'm wrong, but 4 range crossbows? Okay. Isn't cavalry archers just better at that point with the extra HP bonus? I've done that a couple of times, so I can understand that. Man, he's just murdering Miguel. Miguel is not forced. Miguel does not want to fight. He would have fought that fight. And won it. Like, he just gave villages for free. And the siege workshop has been idle for such a long time. Miguel is confused, or like he is not able to sustain production. Chris staying 1 TC, pikeman, double barracks, 4 range. What the fuck is going on? This is just weird. And loses army second time, but still has like 6 village lead. 3 rams to kill the archery ranges. Goes for the gold. Pikeman dealing with most of the knights. I think Chris might... Such a weird game, man. Chris barely holding on. Miguel might be dead. Chris held, Miguel is dead. I would not have seen this coming. Chris has won the game. Yeah, Miguel can't push anymore and he can't make any other unit than knights. He doesn't have the economy for it. Chris again going for the base trade play where like it just barely works. Instead of defending, he counterattacks and hope it sticks. And Miguel again in trouble. He like is not able to defend his base properly. He just jumps on the scorpions with the pikeman. Miguel resigns. A really impressive game by Chris, not gonna lie. That's some like really tough decision making. He just kept throwing waves after waves of his army and barely coming out on top. Britons versus Vikings. I probably prefer Britons after the current change. Not having Thumbering with Vikings is so hard to deal with. Yeah, let's see that there's no barracks. He is adding the barracks now, so Miguel is going for man-at-arms. Chris is going for straight archers, I'm assuming. Yeah, there's the straight archer opening. 20 pop up. Full walls. Man-at-arms not doing damage. Skirmishers, what? Okay. And now he loses the villager. This is why I was saying, why not just open archers? And now Miguel will be up to castle age faster than you. When you open skirmishes like this, Miguel is even adding scouts so that he gets the map control. Deals with the skirmishes. Miguel is up and Chris is dead. Weird opening chance. If he went for straight archers, he would be in a much better position. Miguel is adding TCs behind all of this, and Chris kinda can't add TCs behind all of this. He's trying to do it. Skirmishers are pushing him back. 3 TC skirmishers, ballistic, with like a couple of siege units from Miguel. Chris stuck is behind. This is a good matchup, but like I think Chris's opening just did not do him any favors. And Miguel doesn't care, he's just tanking the TC to get the villager kills over here. $20 villager lead for Miguel, which should basically win him the game. If he opens like skirmishes into arbalists, then mixes rams with like trebs, like he just wins. Like this is not winnable for Chris anymore, unless he switches into full knights and pressures with like forward castle or something. And Miguel underproduces army. Miguel is imperial. I don't think that was going to happen. It should have happened if it weren't going to happen, but Chris had to go for the stable switch, which is happening now, but it's way too late. Chris had to play like 2 TC, crossbow, double stable, like full all-in castle age with mangonels. That's one way of winning because like he was too far behind in economy. And Miguel switches to his own crossbow / arbalist and pushes with skirmishes and arbalist. Chris can't fight that anymore. He's like way too far behind in economy. This all stems from opening with skirmishes. This is why you don't open with skirmishes. Unless like you're maybe like Byzantines or something. Byzantines can open with skirmishes and switch to something else. Other civs, they can't. With Britons, you almost never can open straight skirms. Because you're up so late. And you have no map presence. This is just delaying the inevitable. That was nice, but you're dead. Those the siege rams. Good castles on the map, and then GG. Nicely done by Miguel. Miguel went pretty straightforward opening. Chris did not read it correctly. Tatars versus Lithuanians. I'll say this is an even matchup. I would actually put this 50-50. I don't like this matchup can go either way. In terms of civilizations, I actually prefer 50-50 in this matchup. A personal preference probably Lithuanians, but like realistically, this is the most even matchup in terms of civilizations, I would say. I'm not even sure like which is stronger, because it's pretty equal. 2 militia rush, defense. Miguel adding 2 more militia. Probably wants to turn them into men at arms. Archers are forcing over there. Miguel lost 3 villages. What happened? What the fuck? Did he lose 3 villages to the... What happened there? Tatars will be more cost efficient as well. Yeah, that's post-temp. Not talking about post-temp. Like, anything can happen. Lithuanian can have paladin and skirmishers. Then that army becomes super efficient with halberdiers mixed in. Paladin with halberdier skirmisher mixed in is so hard to kill. Especially with like the unique Lithuanian... whatever that winged hussar is. I think it is called winged hussar. So I'm just saying, like, this is a very even matchup. This should win. He killed a lot of villages. Used the market to click up and is switching to cavalry archers. And had the better trade because Miguel went for man-at-arms. This is why man-at-arms are so risky in the current meta. If you don't do damage, you're dead, because like it's such a big investment. You have to recognize when to click man-at-arms or not. He did not get any value in terms of village kills or map control or anything. He lost more villages to the rush of Chris than he got the amount of damage with the man-at-arms. Crossbow plus 1 knight. And Chris with free thumb ring. This is also one of the big things. Even I forget sometimes of how strong it can be. Adding TCs, 3 TC, defensive siege workshop. They went for the boom route instead of like going for a little bit more army oriented way. I was always so consistent at defending versus them. Inconsistent, yeah. I mean, it can catch you if you like don't expect it. They'll just like push you so fucking hard. Especially the clean transitions behind them. Miguel is so far behind. Miguel is stuck on 1 TC compared to Chris on 3 TC. Chris has full map control, has like better economy by like a huge margin. Miguel wants to defend with just skirmishes. The mangonels are pushing him away. Yeah, and Chris should just switch, go to Imperial and kill them. 4th TC even. I actually agree with this. Because you can just solidify your lead by quite a bit, since Miguel is like kind of pushing you in Castlage with skirmishes, which is like a lot of eco investment. But personally, I would have switched to like cavalry at least at this point of the game. This castle is risky as fuck. But I like it, like he's probably confident in his mangonel micro over here. No, don't invest into K6, just click up. Click to Imperial. Yeah, he's like barely making some make sense. Adding castles in the middle of the map. Miguel always clicks up at the correct timings at least. I'm not sure what his follow-up is going to be looking like. Because he is fucked. He doesn't have a follow-up, he just has skirmishers and Imperial, which is not good. Skirmisher is like not a good army in Imperial. These are mini paladins. You might go skirmishes into unique unit, then it can work. But he's taken so much eco damage and Chris is like in more than a fine position. We switch to full Keshik. Once elite Keshik kicks in, it's like a steamroll straightforward. Yeah, like that would be like to have a word with you. About what? About the castle? Oh, with the skirmisher thing. Okay. Maybe. Last game of the day between both of them. I think Miguel is winning. I did not keep count. Indians versus Khmer. I prefer Indians in this matchup by quite a bit. Khmer just like suck in mid game onwards. They are really good early game, but like mid game onwards they just suck. There's no better way of like saying that. Stable opening from Miguel as well. Spears from Chris to push Miguel away. Nice walls, choke point to the town center, not really taking any damage from the spearman. The spearman is still pushing the fights, completing the walls. Again, why leave these holes? Just wall it completely. Not sure why like this is even a thing. Like should have just walled like this to the edge. Why give him chances to run in? Yeah, like he can run in. You barely take 0 damage and then he's just annoying you inside his base. Chris should have done that though. Like look at this. This is exactly why you should wall from your TC. You should complete your walls. Never leave gaps like this. Otherwise you're forced to walls. Even after fully walling your base, if you leave the front of your TC open against melee units like this, they will just run in. At least I will, but to each their own. Now he's gonna lose his scouts, but like again, this is like extra value Chris might be getting. Chris is open. I'll have the same criticism over here. Why not completely wall? Just barely defending, but now he's taking damage. Chris is up. Miguel is up. Double stable? What? Am I missing something? Don't camels kills everything? 4 range cavalry archers. What is happening? Why not play straight camel? What the fuck? Why cavalry archers? What? Playing double stable camel was would have just killed the stable. You would have had map control, 3 TC behind that instead of 4 ranges. Why does he want to play fancy like this? Now, like the problem with keeping the holes, you just run in. And now, like the entire 10 villages, 16 villages in the woodline have to be abandoned. Transition does not make any sense. Like, yes, you're getting value in terms of against the knights and stuff in mid game. But early game, you can open camels, maintain map control with a cheaper investment, have more of a potential of booming, and then add like whatever unit you need to do to make counter whatever the opponent is making. If Miguel was switching into cavalry archers of his own, it would not work against camels. You will still maintain map control. You have the option of playing light cavalry as Indians. And now he's behind in economy because of it. This is an even game because of the tech switch of Chris, which is like not good in this matchup. Miguel is happily booming while applying pressure. I think Chris is dead. Even though he has the better army, he just does not have enough economy. And the scorpions push everything away. If he opened camels, this would not be happening. Right, like he scouted. He was inside Miguel's base, scouting the entire thing. So only thing Miguel can do from that position is cavalry archers of his own. But cavalry archers don't give you map control unless like the game is totally even. Miguel was behind. Chris knew that Miguel was behind because he did damage to him. So, and Miguel was forced into making more scouts than Chris, and he was in feudal age longer than Chris. So all of those things just don't make any sense to me in terms of the opening choices. Maybe like he will have some answer for it, but for me, like, yeah, like he just loses his TC now because his army is out of position. This army can kill Miguel's army, but like this is not worth it for him. Okay, Scorpions. Scorpions might like make this worse for Chris. Chris actually can't fight this because of the Scorpions. I was thinking he can kill the Knights, but with the Scorpions mixed in, it's just like, yeah. The Camels are late now. Camels are fine, but as an opening, you maintain map control if you open Camels. If you add Camels later, the problem is your opponent has more than enough economy to counter it, especially with the Scorpion Knight mix over here from Miguel. This just like is not killable. Miguel has to stop production for Chris to win this fight, or throw his army like this. What the fuck? Why? I went on such a huge talk about like how what Chris is doing is so bad, but Miguel just instantly throws his army. Because like he's 40 villages ahead. Why did he need to take that fight? Now Chris is like actually raiding him. Same complaint I had the last time. Although he's cleaning up the raid and still maintains map control. This does not forgive the fact he took like a horrible fight which he like did not need to take. Now he just wins. Yeah, exactly. Like he fights straight camels with knights. And wins the game and takes the series, Miguel being the winner of the series of best of 7. Sponsored by somebody in the community, which I don't remember. But